Collaboration with Soldier Blue and Catherine Wyatt, Hot Ash of Holocaust. In the days before the days were counted, there were the stories of the people and how they found their names. With the plains swathed in flames of blue, amber, and the terror such can inspire, before the time of the sacred dogs, horses, when the people of Red Earth walked with travois and dogs, so did a nation of the Lakota receive a new name, Brule. The tops of their feet burnt as well as their thighs, yes, fire, an element of creation, a birth and rebirth of our mother and our peoples. The stories wafted with the wind song, and we had those so named as the guardians of fire, that which the people would use as a whole, as a community, in the times of smoke plumes, ash, dream songs, and ceremony. And there are still those whom amongst our own of Red Earth who are recognized as being able to carry fire, the sacred flames from which shall ascend oft times our voices in prayer. Then there are those flames of created agony, the wails of chorus, the innocence burned before loved ones, stripped of all hope, dignity mashed with the ash of Holocaust upon our very blooded grounds where we and our children once grew and played. Yes, through the bone-rooted agonies of such hot ash of Holocaust do we become our ancestors. Yea, in flames. In the year 1655, Juan Cuna staggers from the Church of Inquisition, where he had been found in God's judgment a heretic, in possession of Catsina dolls. Fray Salvador de Guerra, Franciscan, after the whip, thus anoints Juan with the flame of turpentine, and as Juan runs, a Pueblo elder, through the town square, only to be ridden down. The kivas plundered and many of the people already dead, from the building of a slave church, their name for it. As he watches the flames of his life dissipate into the mist of the horizon, yea, the hot ash story of our red earthen Holocaust. A lama performs the rites in Lhasa.
A man lies dying in his home. The rites are red. Water, air, fire. He recites in Pali. The warmth of the body begins to seep away. A steamy heat rises. The breath becomes cold. The aggregate of perceptions dissolving as he passes through the bardos. The fire element, Kalu Rinpoche states, for the individual dying, for the inner experience is of being consumed in a flame, being in the middle of a roaring blaze, or perhaps the whole world being consumed in a holocaust of fire. To Tibetans, the fire element is dissolving into air. I'm becoming less able to function as a base for consciousness. So it is written in their holy scrolls. It is 1940s in Lhasa. The Great 14th receives a message from the Chinese. He is told that if he will move to a corner of the building, they will try to ensure that he is not killed as they firebomb a defenseless people, unable to fight back against airplanes, fire bombs, and firing squads. In the Holocaust against their people, their culture, monks and nuns, burnt with the hot fire of cattle prods. One monk escapes. He carries the cattle prods used to tear his inner flesh inside of his mouth, while young nuns can barely speak of the burns inside their bodies where the fire of electricity ran through the iron prods, tore their bodies, took their dignity and their skin, for some, their sanity, as the Chinese proceeded unfettered with their peaceful liberation. Not a country on the earth stopped the Holocaust as Tibet and her people lay in ash and dark of a non-violent people. Rinpoche reads on as the dying man moves through the bardos. The sense of consciousness arises from one's mind. The flesh, bones formed from the earth, the warmth, the clear colorations, the organs of sight and form are formed from the fire element. Tibet, too, is dying in the holocaust of the fire, and she of the Chinese as they destroy a nation. 1782, your Revolutionary War ended.
Colonel Williamson, with his well-bred suspicions of the Christian Lenape at the settlement of Gnadenhutten, taking 96 red earthen people, most of whom were women and children, yea, babes in arms, son, locked down in church buildings, separated like cattle, men from women and children. And the word then spoken, tell them they are going to die. The men are beaten to death in the cooper's shop, yea, the metalworks of your pale and hollow good works. Yea, can you yet smell the tang, the sanguine bitters of that good work? The women raise their voices in the church to not hear the men walking beyond the stars, the death stares that they have been brought by people so civilized, as then all are so consumed with the flames of innate hatred, yea, the ash of such hot upon the corpses of the people who died so faithfully and for no reason than suspicion. Yea, such are the twisted plots of the hot ash of Holocaust. Monks in Kirti Monastery trying to find ways to protest against Chinese rule in Tibet.
Monk Fun Sog died self-immolation in the Sichuan province, setting himself ablaze, fighting fire with fire, dying in the wake. Beaten and kicked by police, only ash and bone left in some charred flesh, yet defiled by the Chinese police. Hundreds of monks and others rallied in response. Police and plainclothes security officers turned up. Angered by the beating, monks and Tibetan residents carried what was left of the young monk's remains back to the monastery for grieving. Then in agony they marched along the main street before police intervened, denying them their cries for freedom, the death cries of a people. Jinhua and Abakani government spokesman blamed Funsog's death on delayed treatment, saying fellow monks hid Funsog in the Kirti monastery. Aba's Communist Party claimed they were not aware of the case. When told that the state news agency Jinhua had reported it, the Chinese said, "That's impossible. Remember Auschwitz? The Nazis hid the death camps. Holocaust is carried out in the shadows of the fires that consume human flesh and essence. As in the Twilight's movement come the play of shadows, soft sinister words of warning, danger, threat."
The blaze yet to be discovered, the flames yet to plume from the painted flag, the chipped icon of the United States. And then came the speech of John Trudell on the steps of the FBI building, and the ash made from a flag said to be by we of red earth, and who better to know this of its desecration? Not 12 hours hence, his wife pregnant and 3 small innocents yet to taste life, and her mother. The flames licking the roof, parallel lines of rage and specified hatred coursing down the paths of stroked wood, thought to be sanctuary, thought to be a place of rest, flame crushed, reducing all, within unto ashes, all voices lost, all breath of life returned unto the Creator, bastards in action, giving an official report, loose cinders from the flue, catching at the back porch, the small lies of the flame-ridden ones whom have seen one too many movies about the fabled magic bullet, yeah? And the private investigation funded by a father, an advocate of Red Earth, the judgments we as native-born live with because of you, the pale and hollow, corroding our earth with your cost-efficient ways, leaving us to watch everything going up in flames, even as did John Trudell in the effluvium of the hot ash of Holocaust. Yeah, February 19th, 1979, the unborn Josiah Hawk, Ricarda Starr, Sunshine Karma, and Eli Changing Sun. A small list, perhaps, human beings, everyone, and all these names now upon our wall of the great American Indian Holocaust, delivered to us as the heat is of a summer sun, and still we pay the fees for your freedom as our loved ones become another voice lost beneath the weight of the hot ash of Holocaust. Yea, we follow as we are able, beneath the lean wings of ravens and old crows, and listen for our loved ones in the crying rains, as we walk for them another dream night upon the ghost road, their deaths our consequence, as we manage to place prayer upon a hillock, the sovereign entity of our monuments of memory, because of your builded edifice, the hot ash of Holocaust.